And I love this. Former Disney star Demi Lovato uses she, her pronouns again as she got tired of using they, them pronouns. It was absolutely exhausting. Yeah, no shit. No shit. When you try to, and this is what I'm saying. Truth, beauty, and goodness. These things are on a long enough time scale. They always win. The whatever's true always wins in the long run. Whatever's beautiful actually wins in the long run. I mean, if you sit there and you convince a generation that taking a shit in a coffee can is art, it doesn't take many generations for they're like, that's not beautiful. But that picture of that sunset, that's beautiful. Their goodness is the same way. You can convince a generation, maybe 2 generations, that some fucking perverted act is good. But eventually, on a long enough scale, what is actually good will rise to the surface. So, for example, in our country, they're sitting here saying they're destroying the nuclear family. And they've been doing that for generations. Well, my generation and the generation behind me are super geeked up on the nuclear family. You meet all these families sticking together, and you're like, why is your family, why aren't you getting divorced? Because I come from a broken ass home. So I realize how important it is to not divorce my wife. It's like, oh shit, why? Because it's good. Truth, beauty, and goodness. They are going to if you on a long enough scale, they will last. They will win. It may not be your generation though. You may have to be the generation that gets fucked over on all 3 of those categories. But this is an example why. It's so exhausting to try to live this fake reality. Why is it so exhausting? Because it's not real. You got to pretend. You got to play pretend all the time. It's like you're playing a character. It's like you talking away with an accent, and eventually you're like, I'm just fucking sick of talking in this accent. It's not how I really talk. Or you're walking backwards everywhere. It's like, I identify as a backwards walker. And eventually, like, walking backwards is getting fucking real old. Because it's not real. It's not real. Right? And you're going to see a lot of that. That's why all those LGBT kids transition out of it. That's why this chick here, she's like, man, I went back to she, her because that other shit's crazy. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's what we're trying to say, Zimzer. That's what we're trying to explain to you. That you can't just make up pronouns. Not going to work.